For the senior finals, it is the UAAP three-peat champions. First, the Ateneo Blue Eagles. At forward number 12, Kirk Long. Forward number 14, Nico Salva. Center number 20, Greg Sargent Slaughter. Point guard number 6, Eman Monfort. And the off guard number 15, Kiefer Beda. Head coach of the Blue Eagles is Norman Black. And now let's meet the reigning NCAA champions, the Beda Red Lions. At point guard number 20, Paulo Pontejos. Off guard number 4, Mar Villahermosa. Center number 21, Ola Adiogon. Power forward number 9, Jake Pascual.
You see a lot of tweaking being done by both teams in their starting lineup. Kiefer Beda, who came off the bench this entire tournament, is starting today at the 2 position, with Kirk Long being pushed to small forward. Ola Adiogun as well, starting at center, just matching up with Greg Slaughter for Beda. As it seems, Lanete will be playing small forward today as well, with a new backcourt combo for Coach Frankie Lim.
And this is a combination that we've seen quite often in this tournament in a lot of stretches in ball games, having Garvo Lanete play small forward and Mar Villahermosa and Paulo Pontejos manning the backcourt for the Red Lions. And for Ateneo, you touched on it a while ago, this time it's Nico Salva who's going to play the 4 spot here in this lineup, with Kirk Long playing small forward.
Ceremonial toss from one of our sponsors, and clearly here you see the height advantage by Greg Slaughter over Ola Adiogun. Let's see though if that's going to translate to better defensive positioning and stance against Adiogun, who's been just a monster in this tournament, averaging 16.3 points a game. Slaughter, no slouch as well himself, averaging 13.4 points a game, leading all Blue Eagles. So both players tipping it off at the middle are the leading scorers for their respective teams.
Especially in these knockout games, I haven't seen anyone contain Ola Adiogun down low, and Adamson was the last victim of his inside incursions. Jan Colina was his last victim in that matchup. But let's see how Ateneo plays Adiogun, especially because Beda likes to get a lot of their points from the primary break inside.
The crowd very tense. And now, first quarter underway here at the arena in San Juan. Pontejos, good matchup against Monfort. Garvo, great shooter, giving up the letter. That's an air ball, first attempt for Beda. Both teams very talented in all positions. Backcourt of both teams are excellent, as well as their front line. So it's going to be very interesting to see the type of strategies and the type of plays that will be drawn up by Norman Black for Ateneo and by Frankie Lim for Beda, as Kiefer Beda makes his first trip to the free throw line today. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the first of many.
Yes, and equally interesting is how Ateneo played Kiefer Beda in that first possession. He was moving without the ball, and the ball handling chores being left with Eman Monfort.
Let's get our first report of the afternoon from Ateneo. Here's Jessica Mendoza.
Eric, right away, Coach Norman Black made it very clear that the Beda Red Lions are not a team to be taken for granted. In fact, it was even more specific than usual when it came to his instructions and plays, especially the ones concerning Lanete and Adiogun. He told the boys that they will have to run through all their options and be very flexible on the court if they want to get through Beda's very good defense. Play hard and play smart. Coach insisted they're not going to let you pass the ball once and get the open shot. The Blue Eagles were then sent out of the dugout with one final instruction to play with fire and spirit, which is pretty appropriate since today is Pentecost. Don't you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Jessica, for the report. Indeed, if you've been familiar, you've been watching the Premier Cup, you know that San Beda's been blowing out teams. USD, they did that too. The Growling Tigers, they did that too. Everybody they went up against, especially in the quarters and the semis. Slaughter. Here's Kirk Wong. Almost took away an entry pass in the San Beda's play earlier. Salva from just within the arc, a little too strong. Both teams looking for their first field goal of the game. Ateneo's got 2 on the board, but that's courtesy of 2 free throws by Kiefer Avena. Great hustle by Slaughter, giving the possession to Ateneo. Long, no numbers for the Blue Eagles. On for it all day to shoot. He gives it up. Slaughter from 15 feet. Yes!
Slaughter has proven to everybody that he has that medium range, top of the key jump shot. And Ateneo so far being able to dictate the tempo on both ends.
Whistle on the play as Adeogun spun to his strong side. Let's get the side of San Beda, their game plan here today as we send it over to Trishka Echeverri.
You don't have to be an expert on basketball to know that today is going to be a tight game. Well, Eric and Chris, I also learned earlier that you don't have to be an expert to know what it's going to take to win the championship. I was able to talk to a few Red Lion fans earlier and ask them just that. They actually surprised me with answers very similar to Coach Frankie Lim's instructions. According to our fans, it's gonna come down to the team that has the best defense and to the team which has the best teamwork. The go-to guys of the Blue Eagles need to be contained and pressured, while proper execution on offense will require good communication and ball movement. O, diba, nanggaling talaga sa ating mga fans yan. It's just amazing to see how involved and excited they are, especially now that they have a chance at getting both a juniors and seniors championship. Lastly, just a quick update on Becerra Mer. He's actually still confined. He's been confined since Friday. The team has been praying for his recovery. Eric and Chris?
Thank you, Trishka. Excellent report indeed. 2 things to take away from that report. Filipinos are great, basketball sort of analysts. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Filipinos are really into this game, and it's gonna hurt the backcourt of San Beda one way or another, not having Becerra Mer in the lineup today. The rookie point guard who's been phenomenal for the Red Cups.
Speaking of Amer, he's been the starting point guard for San Beda in the course of this tournament as another defensive miscue leads to a wide open Greg Slaughter.
And this is what San Beda has to be wary about. They've never gone up against a team with a guy like Greg Slaughter, somebody who's 7 feet tall. And now they're feeling the anguish and the pain the other teams have dealt with when they went up against Ateneo.
And
they really have to adjust here.
And Eric,
Slaughter catch and shoot in transition. The last guy coming down to the backcourt hits another long jumper. Wow, what a performance from Slaughter. 6 points out of the 8 Ateneo has on the board.
He's made his impact on both ends. He's been sealing Ola Adeogun properly, holding his own when Adeogun tries to position himself down low.
Great hustle by Adeogun, but he steps out of bounds there. It seems like San Beda right now is a little flustered because they haven't gone up against a team with this kind of defensive intensity, as you saw. Slaughter back-to-back points there, a slam dunk, and another shot from basically the same spot where he hit it a while ago. What are the things San Beda needs to factor in here as they try and absorb the type of defense Ateneo is dishing out?
San Beda defensively, I think, has to make a lot of adjustments, especially with Greg Slaughter, because down low, he can post up when he's in a proper position, when he's quite close to the basket. But at the same time, he can pull his defender outside because he can hit that medium range jumper. So it's going to be very important for guys like Adeogun and later on Semerad and Marcelo to just keep an eye on this big guy.
8-2. San Beda only 1 field goal so far here in the first quarter. Take a look at the first meeting between these 2 teams at the start of the tournament.
90-87 Ateneo coming up huge in that game and really behind the exploits of Kiefer Avena and Greg Slaughter. What a coming out party for these 2 first-year players for Ateneo.
And you see Slaughter dominating there, and so far Slaughter leading the way right now. 6 points for him. The other 2 points on the board as you take a look at the numbers of the key players in that San Beda Ateneo matchup. Slaughter ripping another one out of the air for Ateneo. San Beda can't seem to find their rhythm here with their options taken away by the defense of Ateneo. Kiefer. A little too late in that hesitation play for Ravenna. There's a foul by Montfort. As Pontejos came crashing down.
Despite this deficit, San Beda still sticking to its game plan. Paolo Pontejos showing great intent, pushing that ball, and that's what San Beda needs in this game. They thrive in transition. They have to score easy baskets against Ateneo, and Pontejos had the right idea there.
Let's see how San Beda facilitates their offense here. Arete was freed up momentarily, can't knock it in. Pascual inside the paint, couple of fakes, gets it. Pascual with all of the 4 points of San Beda so far in this game. Kurt Long has done a marvelous job shadowing Garbo Lanete, the leading scorer of San Beda, or the second leading scorer of San Beda, with Adiogun leading the way. Salva still looking for his first basket, gets it against the big man Adiogun.
Salva really a threat, especially when he's one-on-one against his defender. He can break down his defender quite easily. There has to be some kind of help defense, especially when guys like Salva or Ravenna make those inside incursions.
Salva operating again. Big mistake, Adiogun backing away from Salva, who can hit that jumper. Ateneo 12, San Beda 4. Halfway to go here in the first quarter. Pascual is swinging to the corner. That's an air ball. Slaughter again, another rebound. Very few second chance points for San Beda. Ravenna, the finish.
That was a bit of a soft pass on the part of Slaughter, but the San Beda defenders not looking at the ball. And every time you sprint back on defense, you always have to have that eye on the leather.
San Beda in a position they're not familiar with, trailing by 10 early in this game. Red Lions can't buy a basket. Ateneo again in transition. Kiefer, the finish! What a start for Ravenna and Slaughter. They have 12 of Ateneo's 16 on the board.
The Blue Eagles are really coming up very strong, very aggressive. They are really dictating the tempo of this game, and they are the ones getting a foot on the fast break. Kiefer Ravenna with a smooth getaway. The and one. And the emotion.
And what body control. He got bumped, but still had the composure to put that shot in. Ravenna, the bonus shot on the way. 7 points. Ravenna leading all scorers for both teams. 17-4. San Beda fans inside the arena stunned right now at the way they're being manhandled by Ateneo. Marcelo in the ballgame for the first time, kicks it out. Lanete. Pascual. Again, no offensive board for San Beda. Salva getting the basket against Pascual.
Transition points once again. Just like San Beda, Ateneo makes a living off of the fast break, and they're doing just that. They're taking advantage of San Beda's sloppy transition defense.
And speaking of sloppy, you can use that adjective on their offense as well as they commit an offensive foul here. Take a look at Salva with the finish against the much taller Pascual, and San Beda getting blown away very early in this game. 19-4 Ateneo on top. Six points to start the game today for Greg Slaughter, and he is just a man playing amongst boys, you know, physically and mentally.
The Blue Eagles have made the adjustments. I'm sure fans still remember that De La Salle Ateneo game where Greg Slaughter was simply contained by the LaSalle defense, but since then he's exploded for Ateneo. 13 points in the quarterfinal against Mapua, 24-14 in the semifinal against FEU.
Speaking of exploding, that is exactly what's happening with Ateneo and the way they're playing offensively here. They are just smoothly flowing along with their offense. Kiefer Avena gets his own miss. And how easy was that putback for the Blue Eagles?
And where was his defender? Usually, you follow the player who shot the ball. Whether he's going for his miss, he's going to follow it up, or he's going for the rebound, you have to follow him. No one was trailing Kiefer Avena in that play.
Take a look here at what Chris was talking about. Split the defense and just picked up his own miss. Marcelo at the line. This is the first free throw for Beda in this game, Chris. And almost 8 minutes gone by already. Coach Frankie Lim, I'm pretty sure, is either confused, perturbed, disturbed, and he's trying to sort out how to get some points against this Ateneo defense.
Very surprising considering that this is Ateneo's third consecutive game. This same lineup played in the parallel Father Martin Summer Cup yesterday and lost in the semifinals to National University. But they're the ones who are initiating the fast break. They're the quicker team. They're the sharper team.
I guess that's what good defense does to your offense. It makes it better. If you can stop the opposing team from scoring baskets, it pushes you to run and score on the other end.
And that's a good observation, Eric, because right from the beginning, we saw Greg Slaughter being able to contain Ola Adeogun. We saw Adeogun try to seal Slaughter a couple of times in the opening stances of this game, but to no avail.
Wasted opportunity for Beda there. They got the stop, they got the steal, but again, I don't know if it's nerves or they're just trying too hard. That outlet pass by Marcelo, too strong for the young Kara to catch up to. Longest double team. Avena being guarded by the much taller De La Rosa. Oh, there's a foul on Kiefer. Oh, it's Chua. Foul is on Justin Chua.
Coach Frankie Lim making the adjustments now. It's the taller and the lankier Rom De La Rosa shadowing Kiefer Avena. And in their first game last April 9, the very first game of this tournament, as we see Melo Lim also enter the game, it was Rom De La Rosa guarding Kiefer Avena in the end game, in the dying stretches of that matchup.
Bobby Chongson in the ballgame for the first time for Ateneo guarding Kara. 10 on the shot clock for the Red Lions. Marcelo almost traveled. Marcelo got the ball knocked away from him, but there's an Ateneo foul.
A little bit more ball movement now for Beda. They're screening the ball, especially on the perimeter, not necessarily relying on that primary break, that seal, or also known as that high-low play that they run for their big men.
Couple of substitutions here as Tonino Gonzaga and JP Aram check in for Ateneo. Marcelo, who's missed a couple of games for Beda along with these guys.
Sudan Daniel and Anthony Semerad, one half of the Phil-Australian twins.
2 for 2, make that 4 for 4 for Marcelo today. His second game back after suffering a hip injury. Much needed points for the embattled Red Lions. They're down 21-8 here in quarter number 1. Ball slapped away by Karam. 8 seconds to shoot for Ateneo.
Credit has to go to Anjo Karam for playing splendid defense and Wami Johnson, delaying the Ateneo offense. The shot clock down to just 8 now.
Wami getting fouled, shooting the basket. After the inbound play, it seems the defensive scheme, and you see Karam scolding some of his teammates, giving them that disappointed look because they got confused with the type of defense that we're going to set up, with Ateneo having only 8 seconds on the shot clock.
And just as we started praising Anjo Karam for his defense, just giving up that bailout foul, can be considered a bailout foul, considering that Ateneo was a bit broken already.
They were scrambling.
Scrambling a bit. Coming off of a broken play, that possession.
Under a minute left in the first quarter. Kyle Pascual. Here's Karam. 10 to shoot. Lim. Oh, that's a travel.
Traveling.
Melo Lim usually will take that shot.
And usually
from
he's
outside.
free. He finds himself
Yes.
free after curling off a screen. But Gonzaga, excellent job shadowing Lim.
Melo Lim, Ateneo, I'm sure knows this. He is in the top 5 in three-point shooting in this league. He has made this league his coming out party, and he usually takes that shot.
Yeah, usually. That's why he was surprised. He found a shadow right on top of him as he was about to go up. Excellent pass in the last second by Baconostia to Eram for that easy 2.
Very patient on the part of Ateneo, recognizing that Beda switch from a man-to-man to a 2-3 zone.
Hey, Marcelo.
Beautiful seal by Marcelo behind Karam for the basket. Ateneo will take the final shot here. Chomson, tough shot against 2 defenders. Not enough time for that Karam layup to end the first quarter.
At the end of the first quarter,
Ateneo coming out of the
25-10
gates
for
hot.
the Ateneo
Ball game, no
Blue Eagles.
signs.
While the Blue Eagles relied on their starters, putting up the points for them, Marcelo off the bench with 6 points leads the way for the Red Lions. Steal here by Beda and Lim with a finish.
Hello,
That
Liv.
zone defense, I better have to correct myself. I called it a 2-3 earlier. It's a 1-2-2, and until now it's a 1-2-2. So far paying dividends for Beda. Let's see if this defensive setup makes for a good rally on their end.
Well, they're off to a good start with that steal and finish. Eram, 1 and done for Ateneo here as we have the second stringers on the floor for the Blue Eagles. Outlet pass, Baconostia, the finish, yes!
We can't stress it enough. Transition defense. Ateneo has simply killed Beda on the break.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find the statistics on that. And I'm pretty sure it's overwhelming on the part of Beda. 27-12. Over a minute gone by and Marcelo continues to pour in. 8 points already for Marcelo.
Beda recognizing that Greg Slaughter isn't on the floor for Ateneo, going inside more often, and they're getting their points inside.
Gonzaga trapped. Oh, Chomson.
Beda's zone was just daring Kyongson to take that shot, but Ateneo very incisive, going inside and out, passing the ball inside, then kicking out to attack that zone.
Pascual, a little too far from his comfort zone right there, spinning away from the basket. Chomson with his first 3 of the game, calling out the play here. Oh, nice pass. Chomson, look away to Gonzaga for the 3 from the corner. And it continues to rain points for Ateneo.
Ronino Gonzaga, that's one facet of his game that he's improved a lot in this offseason. That corner triple has become quite a trademark for this player who's been known to just stop players on defense.
After an early basket for Beda, it's all but dried up again right now here in the second quarter. 9 to shoot for Ateneo. Oh, Chomson, nice fake. Almost an easy basket, but Marcelo was there for the rejection. Let's go to Jessica Mendoza.
Eric, you guys spared some praise for the Blue Eagles defense early in this game, and I think the reason for that is the coaching staff's repeated insistence that that is the only way the Blue Eagles are going to go home with a championship tonight. They were told to strictly stay on top of their men, to follow their footsteps, and to be aware of their opponents wherever and whenever they need to rotate. Coach Norman Black also pushed a particular kind of defense, the physical kind, and in a voice that said anything less ought to be punishable by law, Coach told the boys, take a street attitude. Don't you let them get on top of you. Eric and Chris?
Thanks, Jessica. Oh, so this is street basketball now. That's the rules, huh? Well, it's been working for Ateneo so far. And how many times have we heard this cliche that defense wins championships? Not your offense, it's your defense. And right now, Ateneo is making that cliche true to all the basketball aficionados watching nationwide.
And especially for a team like Ateneo, which loves to run. They love to push that leather and really really, that's a byproduct of excellent defense. If you play excellent defense, you get easier looks on the basket and more opportunities to run on transition.
Marcelo from the outside. Slaughter, another rebound. Again caught napping was Beda. They were able to get away with a miss on the Tonino attempt on the break. Aram will take a break, and back in is Nico Salva. 6:46 remaining in the first half. Let's go to Trishka and Chibeli.
Eric and Chris, in their last huddle, the Red Lions just took the time to regroup and refresh themselves and rethink what they have to do in order to be able to climb that lead. Coach Frankie Lim's main instruction was not to panic. They are in unfamiliar territory, but he also reminded them that they have the tools to be able to catch up. They have a system that's been tried and tested. They just have to stay patient, remain focused, and stay aggressive. Let's see if they can do just that, Eric and Chris.
Thank you, Trishka. Marcelo caught with his hand inside the cookie jar as he was trying to hold on to the jersey of Nico Salva. But indeed, it is unfamiliar territory for Beda, being down by this much early in the game. They're going to have to sort this out, especially at the half.
And for a team that swept the entire NCAA in 2010, this indeed is uncharted waters for Beda.
Oh, Kiefer Avena toying with Adeogun. He saw Adeogun rushing to him as he was faking from the outside, and smart play by the young kid. He knew he was faster, quicker, just took it to the basket. Kiefer was 2 for 2 earlier. This is his first miss at the line. Just a rookie, and a highly publicized and talked about, highly sought after rookie as well. Coming off the Ateneo high school program. Coming down to 6 minutes remaining in the half. Marcelo has been the guy putting up the points in the first quarter, but he has been frustrated here in the second quarter. Only 1 basket for Marcelo after pouring in 6 in the first quarter. Chongson missing from the corner.
But that time, better transition defense for Beda, not allowing Ateneo a good look on the break.
One of the rare times you see Beda with a better defensive stance against Ateneo. But offensively, they are really struggling. De La Rosa can't hang on to the basket and loses it out of bounds. 34-15, Ateneo in full control here in the first half.
ABS-CBN Sports on Studio 23. Iba Kabarkada.
Ola Adeogun, the leading scorer of Beda at 16.3 points a game. And what a monster he has been on both ends of the floor for Beda in this tournament.
Very monstrous numbers indeed for this Nigerian, who will be eligible next season, so not yet this year, but I'm sure he's enjoying the limelight and thriving. 15 and 12 in that semifinal against Adamson University.
But the more glaring statistic right now, Chris, Adeogun, Villa Hermosa, and Lanete, the top 3 scorers for Beda right now. 0, 0, and 0.
We said earlier, we talked about it, Adeogun's been held in check by Slaughter, and Kirk Long has done a great job on Garvo Lanete. Just across the board, Ateneo has come out to defend in this ball game.
Halfway to go here in the second quarter. Again, the offense of Beda falling apart. They throw it away, and Ateneo with a chance to pad up this 34-15 advantage. Slaughter with 6 points in an early burst in the first quarter. Ravena kicking it out. Slaughter just within the arc. A bit too strong. De La Rosa. Hermosa using the screen. Marcelo. De La Rosa, who can hit the three. Can't get it. Nothing falling easy for San Beda right now. Salva. Slippery fingers as he was about to lay it in.
You can't overhaul double-digit deficits in just a snap of a finger, but San Beda is doing a good job, at least defensively. Let's see if their offense follows. They're preventing those fast break points the past 2 to 3 minutes. Let's see if their offense follows.
Adiogun. Oh, nice. Against 3 defenders. Able to sidestep trouble and lay it in. First basket for Ola Adiogun. Salva, a former Red Cub. Backs away. Here comes Chongson. Salva for 3. De La Rosa. A little too eager that time. He had 2 defenders on him. Chongson stops and pops. Short. Ravenna. Wild reverse for Ravenna, but almost got it to fall. Inside Adiogun. Fouled by Salva.
Good idea on the part of Garvo Laneta. Yes, he had a look for the 3, but handing it off for a higher percentage attempt, and that was Ola Adiogun, Nico Salva with no other recourse but to foul the 6'8" Nigerian.
And you've got to feed the beast, you know what I mean? Yeah. You've got to feed your big man. Make him feel, you know, give him touches and get him going inside the game.
And Trishka touched on it in her report earlier. This San Beda really has a tried and tested system, and the players have come to embrace this system. Not just this generation of players, but even past Red Lions from Pong Escobar, even Alex Angeles, Ogie Menor, Sam Ekwe. These guys have embraced this system, and it's something that you can really lean on, especially when you're down this big. It may be unfamiliar territory, but there's nothing else you can do but to stick to that system.
Let's see how that system of Frankie Lim holds up, though, as they are still down huge, 34-19. Coming down to 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Ravenna taken away almost by De La Rosa. 3 seconds, though, is what is left on the shot clock of Ateneo. Norman Black a little frustrated with how that play developed. Austria has to put it up. Air ball.
24-second shot clock violation.
We can see the Red Lions doing a better job pressuring the ball. Kiefer Ravenna had that ball, tried to play the 2-man game, but ran into a brick wall in that sequence. Let's see how San Beda's offense takes care, or attempts to take care of this play.
Lanete, long 2, yes. This could be the start of something good for San Beda if they can sustain this mini run.
And I think on offense, the Red Lions have been less predictable the past 3 plays. They've been moving that ball, not necessarily relying purely on the inside game. That time it was Garvo Lanete from the perimeter.
Slaughter, unable to get any closer, but that's good enough for him. The one-handed hook puts Slaughter at 8 points in the game so far. 36-21. It's all Ateneo here in the first half. Adiogun, 4 points here in the second quarter. Garvo Lanete getting his first basket late here in the second. They've been getting the stops and their offense has been clicking, but it doesn't seem to be near close to enough the effort being put out there by San Beda, as you see Slaughter find a way to score with one hand against Ola Adiogun. Lanete, free from the corner, rattles in. A 3. No, that was just a long 2.
Lanete getting more touches in the second quarter than he did in the first. And San Beda doing a better job, once again, moving that ball, being a little bit more patient despite this huge deficit.
And it seems like the offense is a little tweaked for the type of play of Garvo. You see San Beda setting a lot more screens to free up Garvo than they did in the first quarter.
And conversely, I'm sure Coach Norman Black of Ateneo will have a few words to issue, especially to his perimeter defenders. We see Kirk Long playing Lanete a little tighter, but nonetheless,
A magical shot as Barbara Lanete starting to wax hot here in the second quarter. 6 points for Lanete. Oh, what a spin! Ball kicked. But the shot clock will continue. Ravenna from outside. Just a little bit short. And San Beda on a run here. The San Beda crowd alive as well inside the arena. Villahermosa. A lot of physical play inside the paint. And it seems like Kirk Long will be called for a pushing foul.
No made baskets in that play for San Beda, but 2 open shots. The first from Rom De La Rosa, the second by Mar Villahermosa, as we see Kirk Long just shoving. Quite uncharacteristic of Kirk Long to do something like that.
Fresh 24, Lanete free again, just off the back iron. Long, pushing with no numbers in favor of Ateneo. Ravenna, guarded by the much taller De La Rosa. 8 on the shot clock, Slaughter operating on the low post. Goya free from 15. Ateneo with some empty trips offensively, Chris.
And they've been stuck. Well, they were stuck at 34 a while ago, just 2 points. Afterwards, San Beda quietly creeping back in.
De La Rosa, reverse, too strong. Another whistle. Another Ateneo foul. San Beda crowd loving how it's falling their way late here in the first half.
At the line, Ola Adilun.
Ola at the line, his second trip. 4 points, 7 rebounds so far for the big man. Slowly but surely, that's how you do it. Pascual, Marcelo on the bench of the San Beda.
We emphasized the importance of playing great defense leading to easier looks at the basket. And this time it's San Beda who's locked up defensively, really putting the clamps on Ateneo's offense the past 3.5 minutes.
And it's in single digits, the Ateneo lead for the first time in a long time. Ateneo looking for the final shot. Long for 3. Not enough time for that. Wouldn't have counted even if it had gone in.
36
So a spirited run by San Beda.
scoreless in the first quarter. And for Ateneo, it's the big names with big games so far, Kiefer Ravena and Greg Slaughter. But it's double-edged because at least you can rely on your second stringers to produce some output when your starters get blanked.
Quick point for Garbo Laneta to start the third quarter as Kirk Long gambled on a steal and he paid for it. Montfort. This is practically your starting five for Ateneo at the start of the game. While it's a sort of tweaked starting five here in the second half for Frankie Lim, as we have Roque De La Rosa and Dave Marcelo on the floor.
It's a much bigger lineup compared to the three-guard lineup that started this game. Dave Marcelo, the patience inside, and the patience that resulted to that inside play.
10 points for Marcelo. Salva from the far elbow knocks it in. Salva 8 points in the game. This is a good matchup, Salva and Marcelo. Marcelo a little bit bigger, much more heft, but much quicker is Nico Salva. Lanete. Oh, Adiogun just powering his way inside that time.
This time getting the better of Greg Slaughter, but we can see once again the ball movement for San Beda. Lanete had that open look from three. That was a second chance point, so it's a combination of patience and, well, sorry.
Yeah, everybody, our train of thought got taken away as Adiogun, great defensive intensity chasing after Slaughter, who almost had a, free and clear line to the basket for that dunk. Great effort by Adiogun here. Just a 7-point advantage for Ateneo. Montfort, catch and shoot. Ball tapped away by Salva out of bounds. San Beda ball, and the San Beda crowd rejoicing as they are seeing better intensity on both ends of the court from the Red Lions. Let's check in now with Jessica Mendoza.
Eric, the word of the day at halftime was penetrate. Coach Norman Black was not pleased that the Blue Eagles settled for jump shots for most of the second quarter, so he commanded them to get in the paint. Kirk Long added to that, saying, we got to be more aggressive, but they can hit us hard, so we got to hit them first. The instructions for defense were the same, get physical and push back both literally and figuratively. Finally, Coach pointed out that communication is key both on the court and off. You have to let me know when you're tired, he told the players, especially those who played a lot of minutes. I don't want you running out tired. We all got to be on the same page, guys.
Thanks, Jessica. It seems that those words resounded a lot more with San Beda, even though Norman Black talked his voice, because it's been San Beda attacking the paint. How many times have you seen Marcelo score inside? Here comes Adiogun. And Adiogun knocks it away. It's Ateneo ball.
And unlike in that first quarter where San Beda tried to go inside but were outmatched, here they're less tentative and they're a little bit sharper inside and attacking the basket with more gusto.
Ateneo right now seems to be stymied offensively. 5 seconds to shoot. A long three. Yes! Ateneo needed that basket.
Defensive rotation a must for San Beda, especially with the shooters that Ateneo has on the floor. We know Eman Montfort can hit the three. We know Kirk Long can also hit the three. He just did in that play.
San Beda was within 5 at that point, but Lanete spinning away from Kirk Long. Empty possession for San Beda. Here comes Ateneo. Let's find out what happened in the huddle of Frankie Lim at the half with Trishka and Chivelli.
It may have taken the Red Lions a while to get things going, but Coach Frankie Lim will have a slow start any day over having an entirely bad game. Despite being down at the half, it was a very optimistic huddle for the Red Lions. They're looking to get back in the game mainly by picking up the energy. It's all about hustling and matching the Blue Eagles' aggressiveness on defense. On offense, they're looking to have more patience, faster ball movement, and just more organized execution. Overall, for the Red Lions, simply put, there's no way to go but up. Eric and Chris?
Thanks, Trishka. That is the correct mindset for San Beda. A I mean, just fight it out 1 point at a time and you're gonna make it. Villahermosa's layup has put San Beda just within 6 at this point.
Timeout.
It has to be said, Eric Slaughter has to be a little bit more physical on Ola Adeogun. Adeogun may have missed that shot, but he had a very good look. Slaughter has to do a better job. Body up, push him a little bit out of that shaded area.
43-37, Ateneo on top, but just by 6 here in the third quarter. San Beda with 10 third quarter points compared to Ateneo's 7. And that is why they are just within 6 here in the second half. Flying V team of tomorrow. Here's the group of lively cheerers spotted by Flying V, which obviously boosts up the performance of the players. This portion brought to you by Flying V, leading the way, fueling tomorrow. Happy birthday to Ramon Villavicencio. I hope you're enjoying your Independence Day birthday Sunday. Ateneo possession. Their chance to pad up this 6-point lead. Slaughter with the left hand.
Greg Slaughter.
I never knew he had it in him.
A bit further from his comfort zone, but this is the second hook shot that Slaughter has made away from his comfort zone, which is a little bit deeper, a little bit closer to the basket.
Coming down to the halfway mark of the third quarter. Steal by Salva. Ateneo pushing Ravenna in front. Wow, what a move by the young rookie. Quick 4-0 run by Ateneo here as they go back up by 10.
And arguably Ateneo's first clear-cut fast break opportunity in about 7 minutes of basketball. San Beda has to realize that they have yet to regain the lead or even hang around in this, to be in contention in this ball game. And they still, or they have to maintain that defensive intensity that they displayed in the second period.
Ateneo back up by double digits. Monfort, Salva, guarded by Adeogun, has the speed advantage using the left hand, missing everything. That length of Adeogun really bothering players inside the paint of San Beda's defense. De La Rosa, Lanete, guarded by Long. De La Rosa, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tough shot. De La Rosa off balance. Monfort, the smallest guy on the court, taking it away from Adeogun. Eman from the elbow. Very few second chance opportunities for Ateneo here in the second half. Garbo Lanete. Plenty of time on the clock. Villahermosa, 6 to shoot for San Beda. Lanete trap. Great defense by Long and plenty of physicality between Lanete and Long is shaken up.
Clutching his right nape.
Timeout, Ateneo Blue Eagle.
Excellent defense.
Excellent.
Just to delay, to stymie the San Beda offense, which was relegated to just being 25 feet from the basket.
47-37, Ateneo back up by 10 here in the third quarter. Action is what you're catching up with on Studio 23. Take a look at the final seconds of that San Beda possession. Garbo Lanete got a little too physical on Kirk Long and may have committed a foul but gotten away with it. Take a look here. Oh, at that hit
That
by Garbo.
we talk about being
Long.
physical in this game of basketball. It's one thing to be physical, but it's another thing to do something like that. But and Garbo Lanete, quite uncharacteristic of this kid. We don't usually associate the term more than physical or overtly physical with this guy. As Coach Norman Black said, this is a chippy, testy game, and he doesn't want his team to back down from it.
And now another foul on San Beda. Villahermosa called for holding on to Monfort. It just seems like frustration creeping into the game of these players. Not as a team, but individually. They're getting frustrated by the type of defense Ateneo's dishing out. And, you know, sometimes You're pushed to the edge.
But just a while ago in that play, credit to Garbo Lanete who tapped or gave Kirk Long a tap. Just maybe erase some of that action.
That's the subtle sorry that basketball players give each other. You don't go through a long apology. Short tap on the back, that's good enough. 47-37. Ateneo by 10. Down to 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Oh, great find by Salva, the cutting Long, and there is a foul on Lanete.
Off the ball movement, Nico Salva. He usually will just take that shot once he gets a clear out from his teammates. But there saw Kirk Long cutting on the back door, finding him. And Kirk Long getting that foul and an opportunity from the charity stripe.
Bayo face of the game. Liz Reyes out of St. Paul, Quezon City. Our face of the game brought to you by Bayo. Long, first points of the game. All here in the third quarter. He has 5. Back up to 12, the lead of Ateneo after it was trimmed down to 6. De La Rosa, foot on the line, long 2, yes!
Eman Monfort complaining about that elbow, but for Rom De La Rosa, this is the facet of his game that's taken some knock the past 2 years. His ability to sink that jump shot, and he missed a couple of long jumpers a while ago, but making amends somewhat here to keep things to just 10.
Foul on Kirk Long as Lanete able to take the ball away from him. So Kirk Long getting a taste of his own medicine type of defense Lanete is putting up here in the third quarter. Golia in the ball game for Slaughter, and Wami Chongson for Eman Monfort.
Let's see if San Beda goes to that patented high-low. Let's see if Adiogun tries to seal Frank Golia in this play.
Adiogun close to the basket. Just a bit too strong. But Adiogun hustling to get possession back. And San Beda with a fresh 24. Arab looking for Adiogun. Marcelo. Adiogun putting it up. Long pushing the leather. And Marcelo caught hugging Nico Salva. See foul number 2 on Marcelo.
Marcelo trying to obstruct that two-man game with Nico Salva coming over, attempting to give that screen. And Ateneo has a bulk of Ateneo's offense really has emanated from that two-man game. That's where it all begins for the Blue Eagles, and it's apparent in this game.
Chongson, no look pass. Salva just short. Montejos on the run. Inside Adiogun. Where else? Oh, nice find. Adiogun finding the open man. Pascual with, that's his 6th point of the game. Pascual on Salva. Hook shot, Salva, no. Ball tapped out, goes to Chongson. Chongson, the layup over Adiogun.
He's hit some big shots in this game. Kwame Chongson, not really known for his offense, but he's getting a lot of playing time here. Did not play in the semifinal against FEU, but just maintaining that tempo as Rom De La Rosa, again, that outside shot. Ateneo is giving De La Rosa that shot.
And now Chris, Ateneo gaining their confidence back here in the third quarter, pushing the ball and getting points in transition, forcing Frankie Lip to call a timeout. 53-41, back to a 12-point lead for Ateneo. Former San Beda Red Cup, the tower of power, Benji Baras.
If I'm not mistaken, this is Kobe Baras, his son. One of those emerging high school superstars.
It's going to be fun to see how he develops as he grows up. Will he be like his dad, just, power player underneath the basket? Or will he be more subtle with, the way he attacks the basket? Foul on Lanete, that's his 2nd. 22.6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 53-41, Ateneo. Beda in the penalty, so Austria will shoot 2. Fresh legs on the floor for the Blue Eagles as Eram Gonzaga check in.
And for Beda, I think it's imperative for the Red Lions as we take a look at Eric Salamat, the former King Eagle, the guy who almost always brought the spunk along Katipunan. But it's imperative for the Red Lions to just put the third quarter behind them. They did not make a lot of headway in this period after a smoking second quarter that saw them play good offense and defense.
And Beda's got to keep in the back of their head that, you know, they've made a run. As you look at Coach Sharma Black, very active along the sideline. They've made a run, and they definitely have it in them to get back into this ball game. They were able to trim down what was once a 19-point lead down to 6, and back down to 5 in the third quarter. Bangkok Austria heaving it just a little too strong. And after 30 minutes, final 10 minutes of regulation to determine who will be the champion in the 2011 Philoil Flying v Haynes preseason Premier Cup as Wami Chongson nails his 9th point of the game.
Paulo Pontejos just gave up, I think, on that play because Beda hedged the screen, sent an extra defender in Dave Marcelo to obstruct Wami Chongson, but eventually sagged off. But where was Pontejos? Pontejos chiefly responsible for guarding Chongson.
And you can't sag off on a guy like Wami Chongson, who's already established. He has the range all the way down to the 3-point area.
Or at least in this game, because I think Beda's been daring Chongson to take those shots, especially when they were in that 1-2-2 zone defense a while ago. But safe to say that he's responded to that call.
Great defense this time by Pontejos on Chongson. He has to pull away. 9 seconds to shoot. Chongson over. Pascual skying in for the block. What a difficult shot for Wami Chongson.
The first person I looked at after that Chongson conversion was Frankie Lim, Beda's coach. If he was going to insert someone else in place of Pontejos, that's 2 straight plays now.
Marcelo, kick out. 8 seconds to shoot. Pontejos driving in. Foul. Golia. Basket Pontejos.
Getting one back is Paulo Pontejos. This kid is a tough kid. I mean, he hasn't played in the NCAA. If ever he gets the nod this season, this will be his rookie year. But just the grit that this kid has, works a lot, works very hard, works a lot, even after practice, and just someone who you can expect to up or hike the tempo for Beda, and that's the way the Red Lions really want to play. They love to push the ball. Their point guards really are the catalysts of that kind of play.
Battle of the backcourt so far to start the fourth quarter between Chongson and Pontejos. Beda employing some sort of a full court press here, but Ateneo able to break it. Now trapping Gonzaga, and there's going to be a Red Lion foul. Third foul on Villa Hermosa. Salva will check in for Golia.
What's crucial there, especially for coaches, will always emphasize that when you have someone trapped, especially near the sideline, the last thing you want to do is reach in, because the offensive player is already at a disadvantage by being trapped, so there's no need to reach in.
That's true. Slaughter, number 20 in the ball game for JP Eram as Gonzaga knocks in a 3.
And Ateneo immediately responding to that shift in the defense of Beda. Beda went to a man-to-man, or rather Beda went to that 1-2-2 zone. The weakness of that 1-2-2 zone, as Dave Marcelo misses that shot, is the corner. And Tonino Gonzaga has been exploiting that corner every time Beda employs that 1-2-2 zone.
Second 3 made by Gonzaga in the game. He has 6 points.
Both those triples have come off against that 1-2-2 zone of Beda.
Salva fouled on the way to the basket as we listen in to Jessica Mendoza.
Eric, things are as hot in the huddle as they are on the court. Now, halfway through last quarter, Coach Norman actually pushed the boys back to life by asking the question, are we going to back down now? And he expects them to keep up that intensity throughout the rest of the game. The other coaches supported him, insisting, we don't jog anymore, we sprint and space yourself out there, adjust. To end, I'll refer to something Coach Jamaica Harin said earlier. It's been a long summer, so let's play today in such a way that we end it with a championship. Eric and Chris?
Thanks, Jessica. Well, indeed, they're playing like how they've been told to by Coach Norman. They've been running again, and they are more aggressive defensively. They've spread their wings and forced some turnovers for Beda. That's why they're back in a huge way at the lead, 62-44. 3 seconds on the clock. Air ball for Pascual, 24 seconds. Shot clock violation, Beda.
Not much off-ball movement in that play. That isn't Dave Marcelo's strongest suit. We saw Marcelo trying to clear out or telling his teammates that he was going to get Nico Salva, but we know that Salva is the quicker player in that matchup, so not necessarily a good offensive sequence for Beda.
Beda, again, facing numerous problems. Let's see how they solve it as we check in with Trishka and Chiberi.
Eric and Chris, the Red Lions are looking to get back into this game once more. Firstly, through good defense. They know that they first need to start making those key stops. Offensively, patience is still the key. Now more than ever, they're looking to have better communication and teamwork. Now, just to go on the lighter side of things a bit, I was able to talk to a few of the players earlier, and they did tell me that whatever happens, they're definitely not going to go home empty-handed. This league has given Garbo Lanete a chance to establish and develop his relationship with the team as team captain, while it's also helped Melalim sharpen his shooting. Overall, this league has undeniably been a good source of experience and of confidence for the entire team. Eric and Chris?
Thanks, Trishka. You know what they say, right? Experience is what you get when you don't get what you wanted. That's what Beda's going to get if they don't get back into this ball game. 62-46 already.
Learning something every day, especially on my end, learning from Eric Tepan.
Oh, come on. Oh, steal here. Beda can make it a 4-0 run. Pontejos to Lanete. Lanete. Whistle on the play, and the referees are motioning it counts.
Yes.
You got to take another look at that. I don't know if I can agree with the officials here. It wasn't even touched, and in fact, it wasn't even going to go in anyway.
And at the same time, it was the official on the opposite end, the weak side, so to speak, who made that call.
But the coaching staff of Ateneo backing down, and you know they have a good lead here. All they need to do is play smart. Ravenna. Villahermosa doing an excellent job here on Ravenna. Kirk Wong open for three. Yes!
Wong! For Ravenna, the creator in that play. Recognizing that Kirk Long was wide open, his defender slipped, and I mean, we know he's a great one-on-one player. He can break down his defender, key for Ravenna, but the court vision also has to be praised.
And you have to notice that the attention of the defense shifted once Ravenna was attacking on the strong side, and he found the open man on the weak side for Ateneo. Wow, 4 personal fouls on Ola Adeogu now. It's going to be a liability defensively for Beda from here on end. Montfort. Almost looks like a one-hander every time Montfort shoots, but very effective. Eman Montfort, 4 points.
And that's not the first time he's taken advantage of the two-man game, using that screen and then freeing himself up, driving, despite the presence of bigger defenders.
67-48, 19-point lead, but what a shot from the outside, falling down for Garbo Lanete. 15 points for him today. Big question is that going to be enough to fuel a run here with just exactly 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter? Ravenna fakes a three. Almost loses the leather. He does completely now. Villahermosa. Adiogun fakes. I don't think he had to. It was just Nico Salva in front of him.
But this is the kind of, this is how San Beda managed to rally in the second quarter, those easy baskets. But we haven't seen a lot of fast break opportunities by the Red Lions in this second half.
Falling away, the jumper by Slaughter doesn't go in. Again, the specialty of Adiogun is sealing inside the paint, but he can't do it here against a much taller defender in Greg Slaughter. Coming down to 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Ravenna. Monfort, the fake. Long two, Monfort. Great save by the young kid Puentejos. Ravenna, the pushing foul on Villahermosa.
Just their second team foul, Ateneo, in this quarter. Just a sign or a testament of good, clean defense, or well, physical defense, but good nonetheless because they're not being called for the fouls. As we see Kwame Tiongson reinserted into this game, getting a lot of burn, Eric, in this finals matchup.
Chongson so far with 11 points in the game. Air ball, San Beda. Another great job by Kirk Long. Both teams have yet to win the Premier Cup. And as every second ticks by, it looks more and more like Ateneo will get their first championship, but still plenty of time remaining.
Big shot. Greg Slaughter, he's hit a couple of those mid-range jumpers today. Just really pulling Ola Adiogun out of his comfort zone. And it's not easy. It's easier, or rather, it's easier said than done to say that, okay, Greg Slaughter's defender has to trail him, has to go outside, because that's not Adiogun's sweet spot, even defensively.
That's true. Offensive board, one of the rare second chance opportunities for San Beda in this entire game, because that's how great Ateneo has been at rebounding the ball. Adiogun, ball slapped away from him. Foul will be on Waming Chongson. Villahermosa struggling today, and three-point specialist Melo Lim will check in for the Red Lions. 2:41 remaining in regulation. Garvo shadowed. Adiogun forced to put up a strong shot. And Ateneo just burning some time off the clock now. Just running a half-court set this time instead of getting some baskets in transition. Lim is picking up Ravenna. Slaughter inside. Too much of an advantage after Adiogun switched off to Ravenna, and Slaughter was left alone with Lanete.
Good body control on the part of Greg Slaughter. Not firmly established, but it was his cutting motion that helped him score that basket.
Garbo Lanete scores his 17th point of the game, under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Quick foul put up there by Lanete. San Beda in the penalty already. So every foul here on end will be free throws for Ateneo. Coach Norman Black calls for a timeout. 71-55 Ateneo here in the fourth. Ateneo with Kirk Long adding the first of two after he got fouled by Lanete. 11 points now for Kirk Long. Just a spectacular job, and that's even an understatement. Both ends of the floor guarding the second leading scorer of San Beda, Garbo Lanete, and also having to put up 11 points on the other end.
And just a balanced scoring attack for Ateneo across the board. 4 players in double digits as Melo Lim, the designated sniper for the Red Lions, missing on that attempt. And Ateneo expect them to just kill as much time as possible.
They killed too much time.
Speaking of which.
In that sequence, as Wami Chongson called for 8 seconds. Beda needs to hurry. They put up a rushed shot from Garbo Lanete.
And especially in the second half, you mentioned it, Eric, Kirk Long doing a very good job defensively on Garbo Lanete. Sure, Lanete has had his points, but save for that second quarter stretch where he had a lot of open looks, it's been a difficult afternoon for this fifth-year shooter from San Beda.
I feel sorry for, I mean, Kirk Long has been known to be an excellent defender, so I can feel for Garbo Lanete how difficult it's been to get a clean look at the basket with Kirk Long draped all over you.
And Coach Norman Black sensing that he has this trophy to add to the Katipunan cabinet, placing in a couple of third stringers in Gwyn Capasio and Von Pesumal. Pesumal, a teammate of Kiefer Ravenas in the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eaglet squad, while Gwyn Capasio, a product of De La Salle Isabel.
And a huge round of applause for the starters as you see Seattle also check in for Ateneo as the starting five exit the floor. And after they've done such a marvelous job for Ateneo here. So even after losing yesterday in another tournament, Ateneo able to regain their composure and going up against a team that pound for pound seems to be their par, or at par with them. They've been able to deliver just a performance worthy of a championship trophy.
And the Red Lions, that spirited fight back in the second quarter, just hitting a brick wall in the second half. We saw Ateneo make those adjustments, especially on defense. And it can't be stressed enough, Garbo Lanete had a lot of open looks in that second period. So the onus was really on guys like Kirk Long to put the clamps on Lanete. And Greg Slaughter, whenever he was on the floor in this game, just bothering Olaide Adiogun, San Beda's big man, whom we will see in the NCAA next season.
And that's a real fact that San Beda had to deal with, that length of Greg Slaughter, something they had not seen in this tournament. They've seen some tall players, but not, a guy who can hold his own inside the paint like Greg Slaughter, and it definitely bothered the way San Beda ran their offense, especially as if you've been watching the tournament, you must have noticed that each and every possession runs one way or another through Ola Adiogun.
And that's because San Beda gets a lot of its points quickly, and they do that through the primary break, which involves their big man really trying to seal his defender very deep and very low in the basket. But Greg Slaughter, save for one of those instances in the third period where he wasn't able to push out Adiogun from his comfort spot, just doing a good job defensively as well. And full marks to Ateneo, to Greg Slaughter, Kirk Long defensively, and of course Kiefer Ravena, who commands so much attention when he gets to break down his initial on-ball defender. He just commands a lot of attention, and the defense has to shift and rotate towards his side. And to his credit, he always seems to find that open man in the weak side.
And I guess that is the key here, Chris, for Ateneo. Their guys, the top guys, delivered when it mattered the most. Slaughter averaging 13.4 points a game. Slaughter today with 14. Kiefer Ravena averaging 13.1 points a game. Put up 12 points. While the key guys for, like what we talked about, the key guys for San Beda, Adiogun, Lanete, Villahermoso denied their usual numbers. And, that's been the key for Ateneo's win here. Like what Jessica mentioned earlier, the defense was what Coach Norman Black stressed on. And that's, what he got in Ateneo. The Blue Eagles delivered a championship to Ateneo here. 75-56 is the final score. The Blue Eagles finally win their first championship in the Premier Cup and against a rival from back in the day.
Yes.
In San Beda. Here's our McDonald's best player, Mac Delivery 24/7 brings you our best player of the game. Dial 86236 or visit macdelivery.com.ph.
Greg Slaughter, just 14 points, 11, I mean, not just 14 points, 11 rebounds, a second consecutive double-double. And really, when he's in the scheme of things, when he sticks to the scheme of things, to Ateneo's system, offensively in particular, he proves to be such a valuable weapon. Just 7 feet tall. By default, it's a very, very tall order to guard or defend someone like Slaughter. But really, he was in rhythm. And he was in rhythm against FEU in that semifinal, and he was on the same page as his teammates in this ball game as well.
Started off shooting from the outside, and that alone got his rhythm going in this game. And he put up big numbers and fueled Ateneo to an early run and a huge lead in the first half of this game to finish off San Beda, who really, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, it seems like San Beda didn't even know what hit them, because right from the start, they got winded by the ferocity of the attack of Ateneo.
Although, of course, credit also has to go to San Beda, that spirited fight back, especially in the second quarter, recognizing that Greg Slaughter wasn't around as much in the second period after Coach Norman Black decided to give him some time on the bench. Made that comeback, exploited a few defensive lapses on Ateneo's part, but when the third quarter, or when the second half kicked in, it was really Ateneo in top gear.
And the fans have plenty to be happy about here. While we talked about the number of San Beda fans inside the arena, and they were not a factor here. They were just quieted down by each and every basket made by the Blue Eagles in this game, to the delight, obviously, of these Ateneans.
And Slaughter did a lot of good, right things today's game, but of course we have to credit guys like Kiefer Ravena. We talked about his impact earlier. Also, Hwami Tiongson, 11 points. He's not known for his offense and doesn't get a lot of minutes, but scored 11 points, including 4 in a very crucial fourth quarter stretch. Remember, he took advantage of Paulo Punteos' slack defending in that two-man game in particular, and really those 4 points, very crucial, as those points, those markers gave Ateneo that breathing room, that cushion that they needed to just maintain throughout the course of the payoff period.
And we have to reiterate the type of defense put up on Garbolanete by Kurt Long. I mean, he was a huge factor in stymieing the flow of the offense of the Red Lions by guarding one of their best players.
And nonetheless, it has to be noted, San Beda hobbled in this game, playing without Basera Mer, who's hospitalized, and we wish him the best, all the best. Coach Frankie Lim still has a really crack unit at his disposal. This is a mean-looking team that's raring to go in NCAA season 87.
Right now, we'd like to give the first runner-up trophy. A trophy to be given courtesy of Haynes, a symbolic check of 200,000 pesos from Mighty Bond and Oxycan products. Please give a round of applause to the San Beda Red Lions. All right, they will be receiving their check. They received it and their trophy for first runner-up honors. They will definitely be back in season 87 of the NCAA, headed by, of course, head coach Frankie Lim. Thank you so much, San Beda. All right, thank you, Bedans. A big hand for San Beda College. And now to receive prizes and cash amounting to 10,000 pesos, we will announce the most valuable player with a trophy courtesy of Mighty Bond, prize money, and gift certificate from Jerry's Grill and Haynes. Also, a Molten basketball. There are some more. It's also gift items from Oxycan, pure oxygen in a can. A gift item from Flying V, gift item from Kaspersky and San Marino products. This year's most valuable player is from the champion Ateneo Blue Eagles, Kiefer Ravenna. The Phenom. Oh boy, the MVP and Rookie of the Year in one tournament. This is the future of Philippine basketball you're looking at. Another big hand to the MVP, Kiefer Ravenna. And now, the final award for basketball. They will receive medals from Total and CDO, 3 Molten basketballs, a symbolic check for $500,000, that's 500,000 pesos. We will have a trophy, courtesy of Haynes, and other prizes from San Marino and Oxycan, pure oxygen in a can. Would you please welcome, this is the only title they haven't won in collegiate basketball. And finally, they won it here are the three-peat UAAP champions. And this year's UAAP hosts, the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles. Oh, ho, ho. Headed by head coach Norman Black. Of course, team manager Paulo Trillo and the rest of the gang. Oh, it took so many years before Ateneo could bring home this trophy. Congratulations, guys. Okay, picture taking for posterity's sake. Come on here, guys. Together with your coaches. And they will also be receiving individual medals from Total and the CDO representative. Individual gold medals together with 3 Molten basketballs from our official ball, Molten. Another symbolic check for 500,000 pesos, courtesy of Philoil Flying V Sports. That trophy, handsome trophy, and prizes from San Marino corn tuna and Oxycan, pure oxygen in a can. Boy, this will be a big year for the Ateneo system. Just 2 years after celebrating their sesquicentennial anniversary, Ateneo's gonna be hosting UAAP Season 74. Mind you, the opening July 9, Saturday at the Big Dome.
And there is the Ateneo Blue Eagles, the champions. And what feels to be one of, with this kind of lineup, many Premier Cup championships, if they keep their system intact. That is the staggering amount that they will take home. The upcoming collegiate season is just around the corner.
NCAA Brazen at 87 begins in July 2 at the Araneta Coliseum. We talked about that earlier. And come July 9, Eric?
Yeah, we have the UAAP Season 74. Watch out for that, hosted by Ateneo. And also, coming up very soon, the Ascons versus Sri Lanka matchup. That's June 29, 5 p.m.
And July 3 at 4 p.m. That's the home leg, 2-leg home and away matchup. to be held at the Rizal Memorial Football Field. So our Philippine national team tries to embark on the 2014 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. They take on Sri Lanka.
Very historic journey for them. So,